Jonathan, how credible is the video?
Well, from all we can tell, it actually does look like a credible video. Obviously, it shows one individual who's making these ransom demands, but it also appears to show video of roughly 200 girls that are chanting and singing. They appear to have been converted, or at least that's what Boko Haram wishes to convey. And obviously, this is a confirmation of everything that we've been hearing about over these last several weeks. More cause for concern.
Should the Nigerian government have negotiated with Boko Haram?
Well, I don't believe that the Nigerian government should. I don't believe that the United States should, or Canada for that matter. This is a terrorist organization. The U.S. government's policy in dealing with terrorism has always been not to negotiate with terrorists. I don't believe that we should be encouraging other governments to do so either. The fact remains is that this organization probably only has a few hundred fighters. It's not very well funded. This is a ragtag group of individuals that I think can be easily defeated should the West make the determination that it's time to stamp out this group. I think really at this point it's a question of what kind of assets the West is willing to put on the ground and how far they're willing to go in pursuit of justice.
We were speaking to somebody who was on the ground there in Nigeria, a civil rights watch group, and they were saying that the people in Nigeria are actually not happy with the fact that this negotiation could have happened and these women could have been freed.
Well, I'm sure, and I think that part of that has to do with the fact that they don't really trust their own government. I don't think that they trust specifically their own military, the security personnel. This is not a very robust country in terms of security. Lots of areas of weak central authority, gray areas as we call them, where the government cannot reach. And so this area in particular, this northeast area of Nigeria, the Borno state, is certainly one of those areas. And so I think there's very little faith that the government could do something to bring these girls back. I think the question is that, again, if the United States or Canada or the UK or Israel, if they were to put commandos or special forces on the ground, would it change the calculus? And I think the answer to that is probably yes.
How do you think the international response to this is affecting things, or can it?
Well, look, I think that, if you're on Twitter right now, the Bring Back Our Girls hashtag is obviously very heartwarming, and you have a lot of Western countries that are affirming that they are standing with the girls or with the government of Nigeria. But look, at the end of the day, this is really a question of whether or not the West wants to intervene, and so all of the rhetoric in the world won't make things change. It really is a question of whether there is a will to do something about it.
Have their attacks changed since the group was founded in 2002?
Well, absolutely. I mean, early on, we saw sort of ragtag attacks against private property, maybe attacks against churches. Over time, we've seen more high-profile attacks in the Capitol, for example, attacks more recently on churches, and now, of course, these brazen attacks against schools. So you get a sense that this is an evolution of an Al-Qaeda affiliate group. It's becoming perhaps a little bit more sophisticated, rather than just sort of trying to raise money and to fill their own coffers. They are trying to be a little bit more strategic, and certainly they're making a bigger splash with the attacks they're carrying out, including this operation that's ongoing right now.
Jonathan, thanks so much for joining us.
My pleasure.